Hey traders, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you what I believe is the best trendline strategy out there. So whether you're beginner, seasoned pro, this technique you can start using right away and improve your trades. So here's the twist though. I'm not just going to explain it. I'm actually going to show how to test this strategy for yourself by using the replay system. So replaying the chart so you can see exactly how it works in real market conditions. All right, let's dive in. All right, so in this video, I am using TradingView charts, and I'm using their tool, the replay system. And this does require a subscription, so there is a link in my description. Go ahead and click that link and sign up if you aren't already signed up. If you are, I know many of you guys love TradingView. Great, and so this is part of your subscription package. Go ahead and click that link and sign up. And so once you do that, this is going to be available for you, and what it is it'll essentially, let me go ahead and just play this. And so what it does is just, it's a nice, you can just see the candles go, and you're going to be able to test strategies, you're going to be able to do all sorts of stuff. And to me, I think this is the most valuable tool that any trader can have, just because you can historically, you can randomize, you can go back. I just went back here to, where are we? November 16th, so wherever this is. So I just kind of just picked the time, and what I'm going to do is I want to test myself, and I want to draw trend lines, and I want to see where I would maybe get in, where I would get out, and things like that. And real kind of like almost like real life trading, pretty much. And so yeah, so let's go ahead and get started here. So right now, I'm not really seeing too much here. Actually, there could be something right here. So probably at this point. So if we're here, and this is Coca-Cola, this is KO. So if we're right here, I would probably draw this there. This is actually a nice little double bottom as well. So I'd probably have something like that, right? And so let's go ahead and play this. And so what happens? Oh, it did have a nice little breakout there. And before it just came all the way back. So this is what happens, and a lot of people get stopped out here. So that was a nice candle, right? This was a nice breakout candle. You saw that breakout right there on that level, and then it just zoop, come all the way back. And that's why, waiting for pullbacks is very critical, or having a confirmation candle, things like that. And so that would have been a nice little stop out for a lot of people there. So let's go ahead and keep this going. So there we go. So this actually stopped right there. So we see how we're testing this, right? We are testing these levels. It's either gonna bounce down here, or it's gonna come all the way back and come and retest our line here. I don't know what will. And so yeah, so there we go. So it did come back and test a little bit there. Yeah, so I wouldn't be really interested in trading much of this. This is kind of a little bit choppy. I'm even seeing another a trend line in here. So this actually might be something that I would. So this is probably what my charts would look like at this time. And so that's kind of how I like to simulate this. Is what would it look like at the time? And so probably on a break of this, I actually might be interested in a buy here. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. So it did break out there. And what I like to do with entries is I do like to wait for a confirmation candle. So it broke out. This was probably the candle that broke. Or not probably. This is the candle that broke out. So we would probably get in somewhere around here at this level. And maybe probably a stop loss inside there, but I don't want to go too deep into that. But this is kind of what we're doing, is just testing this, right? We're testing levels, we're seeing how it works, we're seeing what it looks like. So there we go. So it did come back down a little bit here. To me, I would have a stop loss somewhere in the triangle though. So let's go ahead and see what happens. A lot of chop there, and then boom, we're probably going to test this level, and it did, and then it ended up, wow, okay, so it did break out there. So a lot to unpack in that little trade there. So say we got in on this entry candle, we held it. Maybe our stop loss is somewhere down here. See what happened there is so it bounced off of, well, not really too much of a bounce, but man, did it break out. It broke out really nicely there. I could see this. Let's see. Let's just keep playing it. So we did a little bit of chop there, and then wow, so it continues to go up, and so that's the power of this, right? So we identified this break, right? This is the breakout that we looked at. We were looking at it right at the time of the replay. We had an entry there, so if we would have held that to here, probably I would have probably have really been looking at this level when it came here, and maybe even move my stop loss, right? So say the stop loss is say that I had the stop loss somewhere down here. Let's go ahead and change that to, let's just say green, right? So say our stop loss was somewhere down here, especially at this level, I would have been moving that, right? I would have been moving that up, protect those profits, and then it just continue upwards. And then once I saw this breakout, probably would have got really excited. Um, and then man, did it just keep going, right? So yeah, but yeah, again, this is the power of doing this, is to see kind of this, it's to have the mindset of what would you have done, and you just don't know until you're in that trade in real life with real money, with live money. And again, this still isn't exactly how it is when you're trading, but this is as close as it gets, especially if you just randomly are looking back in time. And what I recommend doing is you just kind of just do this, right? You don't even look at the charts. You hit the replay system, and then you really test yourself, because there's no use of doing this if you already know what the move is. And I have no idea what happened in June. I not really I don't really follow Coca-Cola all that much. I know right now it is at all-time highs, or close to it, so we are going to keep going up at some point. Um, but there's probably going to be some buy and sell ranges in here as well. So let's go ahead and keep going. So that was interesting. So at this time, let's go ahead and back it up here. Anything interesting? So nothing really stands out. So we're just gonna keep going. All right, so we are moving along. Some sideways action, a lot of intraday stuff here. This choppy stuff you could be trading. Okay, so here's something that I'm seeing here. Let's go ahead and draw that. So I am definitely seeing something right there, and in fact, I'm seeing something on the downside here. So let's go ahead and draw those lines. So here we go. So this would be a really interesting chart or time to be looking at this. So we're going to be interested in it. So if we break, it's probably going to keep testing. If it comes back up here, it's going to test this again at some point. But we right now, you can see this, how we're just going up or down. We're going up. We're going a little bit here, about halfway, and it's just continuing this choppiness. And so we're going to look for a breakout of this. This is what we're looking for as traders. We're looking for breakouts. We're looking for touches. So if you're looking for a sell, possibly right here, somewhere around here would be a nice sell position. If it doesn't break it, if it breaks that, then it might continue upwards. But I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what the charts do here. And some more choppiness. And again, these are daily candles, so this is happening really fast right now. But these are all daily candles, so these are pretty decent sized moves. So a lot of chop. Oh, there we go. So a breakout, right? A breakout of that. So here's the interesting thing, right? So people are excited here. Breakout, we're finally here, and this was a really nice move. And honestly, and I actually missed that, but look what happened there. Aside from that little quick breakout there, what a nice trade that would have been. And I did miss that. I went a little bit too quick. But I would consider this right here a nice little spring trade, and that's what I call them. I like to call them a spring trade. And so, wow, what a nice move. I would be a little bit cautious of this. To me, I'd wait for some confirmation. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so see, this is why I love doing this. So there's a nice breakout here, right? This is everybody was excited. But I always like to wait for a confirmation, and so wait for this to break and then potentially continue to go. So that was a really strong candle here, but you see how it closed, and then it did not want to push back up there, so it actually opened and then closed all the way down here. And so now we're continuing to the downside here. So let's go ahead and see what happens. So this is going to be interesting because it did want to break out, but it's still in this range. And so let's go ahead and see. Oh yeah, wow. Okay, wow. Goodness gracious. Okay, so that was a lot of movement there. I did not think that was going to happen. So what a move that was. Here's the confirmation, and this was actually a green candle. Um, and so I personally probably wouldn't have. This is a lot of. I don't know if earnings. Let's see. Okay, this is a little bit before earnings, so earnings could potentially be. There could be some excitement. There could be stuff happening to where it's moving the stock. And so probably would have just stayed out of this one. What a move though. I would have personally been interested in this one right here, which again I like to call spring trade, which is it's a nice triangle breakout. This right here, honestly you can ignore it. I personally don't care. That broke out, but it was a false breakout, right? It was a nice move, but it didn't have enough momentum. And again, I probably would have if there was definitely this level here. And so if I would have took this trade, it would have definitely been targeted in this line because you could see all this right here. But that really wasn't that much. There really wasn't a lot of room there, so I'm not sure how that trade would have been. But yeah, so this is interesting. We're all the way down here. Let's go ahead and keep going. Let's see. Earnings didn't look like it moved. It did want to push up, but yeah, there wasn't really too much there. And let's see if there's anything interesting happening here. So that's not. So say there might be something here. There might be something there. This might be something setting up potentially. There really isn't a lot of. So there's a nice little. I mean, this doesn't really excite me. Yeah, that was to say that doesn't really super excite me. That wasn't really a strong candle to break out, and so I don't think that would have been. Yes, that did break this, but you see how this candle was red, and there's just a lot of wicks happening here. I don't like that. See how different this is. Strong move, strong close, strong move, strong close, strong. This was a little bit, red candles, a lot of wicks, things like that. Not really interested. Not too interested there. And again, here's another, potentially. I would probably be somewhere like this, if anything. Let's go ahead and see what that does. So a nice little bounce. So you see how interesting that is, right? So, and I do apologize if I'm stopping a lot, but this is just really important. So you see how it respects these levels. So you could have 18,000 indicators on your chart. You could have the footprint charts. You can have this charts. To me, I think the most valuable chart you can have is the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, this is the daily chart, and I'm telling you, this is just they respect these levels so much, and yeah, so okay, let's go ahead and keep going, and then we'll do maybe one more, and then we'll wrap this up. But hopefully you can see now. Again, look at all these different things that we did here. I mean, how cool is that? And these are all, and a lot of times people will do this, and they'll be like, oh well, yeah, this is but we were literally replaying this, and so that's kind of just that's what I'm saying. That's the value. That's the value of doing this yourself. Um, and so yeah, let's go ahead and keep this going. Oh, there we go. So this is what I'm talking about, a strong candle. That is a nice strong candle. That was a nice, so we'll see. So because we did see this, and so we got to wait for some confirmation here. But this was a nice, again, this could have been a spring trade, depending on what we do here. So not the greatest. However, we did come back and touch this line here. So you do see that sometimes where it'll bust out, right? It'll bust out of the pattern, and then it'll come back and it'll retest, and then a nice strong candle. So honestly, I think a great trade honestly would have been a strong candle here. I think honestly, right here, somewhere in this green candle, a buy entry. Stop loss somewhere, stop or maybe somewhere down there. And let's see. Well, let's see if there's anything here. Let's go ahead and start that. Okay, so there's a nice. So not bad, not too bad. There we go. So there's a nice breakout there. Anything here? Um, so it looks like there's not. Let's see. Let's keep going. Yeah, it just stopped at this level right here. And if you see that, it just kind of just stopped and just died down. But I mean, what a great trade. So that would have been a nice trade right here, and then a big move, probably at this big. If you're just trading this, just quick trick trades in and out, that would have been a nice on this because there's really not too much up here that's like super exciting, and you can see how it just stalled. And there's not a lot that it actually stalled. I don't know if there's. Oh, this could have been it. So we need to actually go a little bit farther left. You see this right here? That's what happened. It stalled out there, and so it almost got up there. It was actually a little bit lower. So yeah, that's probably what happened on that point. But yeah, so I mean, we could keep going, we could keep doing this forever. Hopefully, this was valuable. But like I said, you could just continue this. You can keep it going. I like to do it on 10x, but you can even slow it down, even down all the way to this is actually super slow. Um, yeah, very slow. So if you're on like the lower candles, it's not as quick, so you kind of have more time to think. But for the case of this video, I just wanted just to do as quickly as possible. Um, but yeah, so I mean, how valuable is that? You could just continue to keep doing this over and over again. Here's what I recommend you do. You do this if you're interested in a stock. If you're interested in Apple, what are you trading? You trading Nvidia? You trading a penny stock? Um, whatever you're trading, go back. Let's just go. I just know this is an interesting penny stock back in the. So you do something like this, right? Where you just go back, and then you want to exit that. All right, we'll go back here. Let's not even look, and then replay it. So you did see that a little bit there. So go ahead, get penny stock, replay it, and just start. So here, and then just test your levels, test what the penny stock did, and then from there, get an idea of how it moves, get an idea of what you think it might do, right? And then boom, do your levels, right? That would have been a nice. Now again, I did kind of cheat there just because but that would have been a nice little breakout there, a nice little breakout to the downside there. Here is so probably a penny stock here. Let's see. Anything interesting? Anything interesting happening here? Here's a nice little level. And so just do this, right? So just run your knowledge of trend lines, things like that. There's a nice little break. You see how it came all the way back up here. And this is a random penny stock. This is SCNS. Well, it's not random, but it's a penny stock that it did go up in value. I think now it's trading a lot lower, but it's just the one that came to mind. You see how all these stocks, everything just respects these levels so much. We can continue to extend that and see what happens when it broke that again. Boom. And a lot of times penny stocks are actually a little bit crazier than some other stocks like that. So you can go ahead, use this feature if you have TradingView, if you have the subscription, use this feature to your advantage because I'm telling you, it is the most powerful you can find. And then once you do that, once you get familiar with the stocks, you can now, let's go ahead and let's turn this off. And so now we're ready real time. If anything happens, if there's anything that is happening with, let's see. So the first thing we see here is that was a nice little breakout there. But other than that, Coca-Cola is just kind of just rolling right now. The only other trend line I would draw will be something like that. So if it comes back here, that could be potentially something. And here's another one right here. And so now we have that we're familiar with this stock, right? We are familiar with what it was doing, how it was breaking these levels. So we know whenever there is a level that's broken. So say this one right here, if it comes all the way up here and breaks this could be this could either be a breakout there, or it could be a pullback. And so this will be something that we'd be interested there. Other than that, I don't see a lot of interest, but that's okay. And so now we're familiar with the stock. We got kind of an idea what we want to do. So if it comes back down here, we'll be interested. If it comes back up to this level, we're interested. Other than that, we're not interested, and we go to the next one, right? And that's how simple something like this could work. And kind of just your eyeballs you'll start to be looking at these charts a lot differently. So say if you're all the way down here on the 15 minute, I mean, or even down here on the minute, I mean, things are just, say right here, oh no, it's a catastrophe. We're selling. Everybody's, the whole world is ending, right? But then it flattens out and it'll eventually go back up, or, so that's just what happens on the minute. You kind of get your ideas of trading are a lot differently down here than it is all the way down up here on the daily charts. And so that's what I want you to try and test. And if you do this, if you test this, if you try it, go ahead and leave a comment down below and say, yes, this was actually this was a great training. This is something that I'm telling you, not a lot of people are doing. You see comments, you see there's so many different things you can see online, and just when you talk to people, nobody is doing this. Everybody is all the way down here on the lower, especially on SPY, especially on the S&P. I'm telling you, people, if you just go ahead and look at some comments of what people are doing, everybody's saying, oh, the world's everything's over now, or everything is fixed. Look at this big move, right, on the 15 minute or on the minute. We're back. Everybody's back. But then if you zoom out, it's just it's always a different story, right? And so the S&P, even right now, would be interesting. Something like this, right? And you can really, really do well on the S&P if you are doing these levels. And so there we go. There's 3 that I saw right there. And again, I'm going to have some more training on drawing these levels. So be on the lookout for that. But I just wanted to shoot this out and kind of just to keep just to kind of test yourself, right? Test yourself, and so to be able to find these trades, be able to find these buy levels, and be able to find these sell levels. And the way to do that is by using a replay system. All right, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, go ahead and leave a comment, a like, and subscribe, and I really would appreciate that. All right, I'll see you on the next one.